Yeah, productization isn't like a new concept. A lot of companies try to do it. They just do it wrong because like they're like the service does X, Y, Z, and that's what we deliver, but they don't like have like a methodology for how they deliver that for every single client, or every single client they deliver it to is like there's like some variation in it. And the fact that there's variation in it in every single client is not true productization. How we learned it is basically just dissecting what it is at its root cause. We just took like, how does a factory produce the same thing over and over and over again and get the same result? Apply that to marketing. So a lot of like what our packaging is structured on is basically understanding our clients. So we know that our clients are landscaping and lawn care businesses. How do our clients get their clients? And like who's the most in market people? And generally speaking, like the most in, like, I guess the easy example I can do is like plumbers. Plumbers don't do well on social media because nobody needs a plumber until you need a plumber. So like, how do plumbers get customers? And it's usually when people have an issue and they need to call one. So they search for that. So we're like, okay, the best service for us to offer literally to anybody that should work is SEO and Google Ads. Those are both search-based products, and let's deliver that. Then we have to understand like what is, like what are some drawbacks? So if we only offer SEO, what's a drawback to that? Well, if we only offer SEO, in some markets, it can take a long time to rank. And so if we struggle with keeping like client retention for longer than 3 months, they're never going to see kind of the fruits of their labors until after they're gone. So, okay, well, what if we bundle that with Google Ads? Because if we bundle the Google Ads in the first 3 months, we can just pay to be the top of Google. And while the SEO is working, we have those things bundled together. So, that's how the productization of what we call the foundation, which is our entry-level package, is bundled together. Now, when we implement anything new within the procedures, we always ask ourselves, like, is this unique to this client, or like, can this be duplicated to all clients right now or tomorrow or whatever? And if it is, what's the level of effort? How much effort is that going to take? And is that going to draw labor resources that aren't adjusted for? So another example is we charge $650 a month for basic SEO and Google Ads management, then plus ad spend. So in that $650, that management fee, how many hours are we going to spend internally on that client? If we spend 100 hours on that client, we're making like $6 an hour. That's not feasible. If we spend 1 hour on that client, we're making $650 an hour. So somewhere there's an equilibrium in which you should spend a certain level of time on a client each month, and like what your internal hourly labor rate is. So we use the number 150 for our internal hourly labor rate. That tells us in that productized service of SEO and Google Ads, we should be spending no more than 4 hours per client. Then you have to, it's kind of like circular reasoning here. You have to come to a circular conclusion. It's okay, so if I get 4 hours at my price point and I go back to what I'm saying I'm offering, can I achieve that in 4 hours? Per month, right? So if the answer is yes, you've got a productized service. If the answer is no, you either need to adjust your pricing or you need to adjust the deliverables in it. You need to bring the deliverables down or adjust the pricing up. And that's usually the problem that most entrepreneurs have, or especially agency owners, is like they want to offer SEO or like whatever the marketing package is. And usually what I see new entrepreneurs doing is they charge $750 a month, $500 to $750 a month, like, because that's under $1,000. That's just a lot lower of a price. But the amount of time they're spending on a client is like 10 hours a month. And if you're spending 10 hours a month at $500 a month per client, that's $50 an hour, which sounds good from like a full-time salary perspective. it's actually very bad from a business perspective, because if it, in the simplest terms, $50 per hour means that nobody at your agency can make over $100,000 a year, including yourself. So as soon as you start scaling up and now you have payroll, and then you have like operating expenses and taxes and everything like that, I'll give you an example. Like we have a very high payroll. We have like, I think our payroll is like 70%. That's intentional. We want to pay our team well. Profit, we'll just say, is 15%. So if we were operating at $50 an hour, technically every hour that I worked, if I was a solopreneur, scaled out, would only be 15% of 50, whatever that is, 7.5, and that would be terrible. So like if you're trying to build a business, or like build an agency, or build, in this case, your SaaS product, it's a little different for you because you have a different model. But if you're trying to build a service-based business, it has to be, your man hour has to be priced in a way that you can grow with it. If it's just you, $50 an hour is fine. That's freelancer wage.